the screen right here.
You're
It's
not a
cool.
morning person?
Hell no. No, I go to bed at like 2 to 3 a.m. every night.
No way.
And I need 8 hours of sleep.
You know, I just saw something that said that 7 hours is actually better than 8 hours.
They're always going back and forth.
They're always
with
going
it.
back and forth
Yeah.
in it. I know. But okay, so let me ask you this.
The more you get, the better.
I agree with you, but I do think that there's something where you sleep too much and it makes you more tired.
I mean, I get that. You might be a little groggy, but
You
I
think
think
you
that
need it?
that thing that it primes your brain, the more you get, the better. And with my anxiety, like that was my biggest target was my sleep.
Sleep changes everything. If you
Yeah.
have a good night's sleep, and also like if I'm definitely one of those people where I actually have a lot of trouble sleeping every single night. My community knows this, but if I have an issue, I just need to sleep. Like you know, like if you're stressed or
And-
you think everybody hates you or whatever, like I just need to go in my bed and like go to sleep.
And usually that's when you can't sleep.
Of course, it's like so annoying. Okay, so let me ask you this: do you think that a morning person?
Are we rolling or no?
We're rolling.
Oh, cool. You tricked me.
No, I like a soft open. I like a very soft open.
Well, you got there's people coming in here. They're
like I said, we keep it
fixing
casual. No, there's
mics,
wires
you know?
everywhere. It's a mess.
Oh,
It's a mess.
okay. You should have never told me. We should have just talked
I know,
for
just talked
and been like, all right,
mad
that
shit,
was
and
it.
I'd be like, send you on your way. Do you think a morning person and a non-morning person can be in a successful relationship?
That's a great question because I have an unusual schedule, and I do ask people that, you know, do you like to sleep? Because, you know, a lot of women are like, oh, I'm up at 6 a.m.
Right.
That wouldn't be the worst thing because I would like to be that person.
Yeah.
That's like up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's like me trying to match a good habit of somebody.
Totally.
So if somebody has like a better habit that they're entering to my life, then I feel like it's okay.
But do you think it's a habit or do you think it's a disposition? Like, I think that, you know what I mean? Like, I think some things you can change, you know, you can change yourself. Like, okay, yeah, you can probably train yourself not to snack or whatever. But I do think some people are just, they're so happy in the morning. Like, I'm very, like, I bound out of bed. I'm very happy, almost to the point where it's been a thing in some of my relationships where they're like, whoa, I need you to chill because I'm like ready to go.
So you
in
are
the
a morning person. What time?
I don't always get up early, but I like mornings. Like, I'm not a person who usually
Yeah.
wakes up in a bad mood. I wake up in a good mood. I'm like, you know, I love it.
I feel like everyone likes mornings. Like
No.
no, I'm saying like I don't like the feeling of being tired and I didn't sleep or whatever. But when there ever is a time where I did get a good night's sleep and my day is shifted earlier,
Yeah.
I just feel like we have like chemicals and hormones inside of us
Yeah.
that we're supposed to run in the morning.
No, totally. And like Andrew Huberman, I love him. He says like you should get outside within, you know, I think it's like get natural light in your
Yeah.
eyes 30 minutes
A little
after waking
grounding.
up. Grounding. I love all that stuff.
The PMF
I
mat.
love a morning routine. I love to journal or free write in the morning.
We're such millennials.
We really are. No, we're such millennials. It's crazy.
But no, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good question about the habit thing. I mean, we'll get into this, but as I get older, I kind of just like, it feels good when somebody really is dialed in with your actual life.
Totally.
You know?
But then with your
over
routine,
the time, I was like,
yeah, who
over the years,
cares?
I was like, who cares? We'll figure it out.
Right.
And now that I want something serious, I'm like,
I know,
no.
but don't you think that that's the problem with being like, well, not the problem with being single in your 30s, but one of the challenges is that every year that goes by that you're single, you're kind of like, well, now I need someone who needs this, I needs this,
another
and need this.
box to check.
Another box to check, exactly. And you just get more particular and you get more set in your ways. And I'm not particular about my mornings as much as I am like, I am so weird about sleep at night. Like, I need it to be very, like, I need an air purifier. I need to listen to my...
We're the same. We are the same.
I need to listen to my meditation thing.
Ritual, yeah.
I can't have any snoring. And that's been a huge issue in my past relationships, to the point where, and I really want to get your take on this, I've asked my boyfriend in the past to sleep in a different room because I need sleep. And he was super offended by that, thought it was really mean. And I was like, it's not about you. It's not about sex. It's literally about sleep.
Yeah.
And it caused a wedge between us. So what is your take on sleeping in separate bedrooms?
I can't do that because number one, the thing I want out of the relationship is the physical touch.
For sure.
And the person next to you. But also it's like my anxiety will kick in knowing that they're in the other room.
Okay, interesting.
You know, because I've had that happen too, like in fly out situations where it didn't really go well and the person was like, just like got up and went to the
Yeah.
other room, and now I'm like thinking about what they're doing.
they-
I'm like,
Yeah.
my brain's like, am I gonna hear a noise? You know, are they gonna start going in and out of the house and not locking the door? Like my
Right.
OCD starts kicking in.
Right.
So I'm like, just stay here.
Yeah.
Let me hold on to you.
Yeah.
Let me control everything.
Yeah.
But nah, I don't think that I would want the separate room thing. But yeah, the snoring would be, I don't know. I just think that like other people that don't have anxiety and shit, like they just kind of let everything kind of slide.
I know.
So rather than having the world assimilate, is that the like to my, I don't know if that's the right word, but
Yeah.
acclimate to
Acclimate.
my needs and everything.
Right.
I'd rather try to acclimate to the world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like just
Yeah.
figure out how to be the person that, I mean, noise when you're sleeping is fucking annoying though.
Exactly. And I think
I got these dope
headphones.
no, like
Earplugs.
what are they called? Earplugs?
I need them.
But they're like they like radiate like the slightest bit of white noise.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I
But
love
not
white
like an
noise.
AirPod, because then you
No,
can't
no,
sleep
no,
because it's
right.
too bulky.
Right. Okay.
I got a good one. Yeah, I got all the tricks. I got the little sound machine. My sound machine has a fan inside of it, so it's not just digital. Because if it was just
Wow.
digital, I don't think that's good for you.
No, I agree. Yeah, I tend to think that for the right person, also you find a way. Like
Yeah.
if it's not the right person, you tend to let the little things annoy you, be it snoring, be it this, be it morning person, whatever. But if it's the right person, you just kind of figure it out, and it doesn't bother you as much, I find.
I mean, in a weird way, I don't know how what you talk about on this pod, but I think that sleep is a little bit more even intimate than sex.
For sure. But I'm so weird. Like I don't like to.
I'll fuck a lot of people, but I'm not
No.
gonna sleep next to anybody.
No, if I like sleep next to you,
I love
I'm
you.
like in love with you. Like I can go for ages in a relationship or whatever before I actually sleep with someone, because
Yeah.
I'm just like, it just affects my whole day and it's scary. And I also don't like sleeping over. I like my room. I like my stuff. I have all my skincare, all my shit, like whatever. And so it's very intimate, and I think it's important. And it's like, it's just so weird how so many other things in the world have developed, but sleep, which is known to be the number one important thing for healthy aging, your health, your stress, your anxiety, all that stuff, we're like, oh yeah, just sleep in the same bed as someone, which is like a very archaic system if you think about it. Like I get that it's nice, and believe it or not, you guys, my top love language is physical touch as well. But I have to sleep, otherwise I like break down.
Yeah, otherwise I'm no good to any human.
Yeah, I'm just like not useful.
I even tell that to my brain, like when it's like tossing and turning, like because a lot of times I'll be thinking about like whatever problems of the day I have to solve, and I'll be like, you need to sleep first, and then because you're not going to be able to do anything. You know what I mean? So put it on I call it the back burner.
Yes.
I'm like, put it on the back burner. It's still, because you can't be like, don't think about this, otherwise
Right.
it's going to come harder. But then I'm like, put it on the back burner, and then I get sleep. And that's the same thing for everybody. I'm like, you don't want to see me if I didn't sleep, you know? But yeah, no, but it's funny about the women in their 30s, because I like dating women in their 30s because I have more in common with them.
Right.
But you get that problem. They're like, I'm not fucking sleeping here.
Yeah, you get
this
more
isn't my
rigid.
bed.
No, you get more
This isn't my
rigid.
closet. I'm not moving in here.
know,
But
I
the girl
know.
in her 20s is like,
The girl,
just give me a couch and a
No,
blanket,
literally.
and I'll move in till next Tuesday.
Oh my God. When I was in my 20s, I would literally I'd be like, oh, you don't have a blanket for me? No problem. Like
Yeah.
I'm here. I don't have anything. I would sleep in my contact lenses. I would, walk home the next day. Like I was so chill. I was like, I don't care. Now I'm like, I can't, I have to do this and that.
Yeah.
But
Just pass out on a shore house floor somewhere.
literally,
That's what I used to do.
Yeah, no, it's so
Get
funny.
the best 8 hours of
Yeah,
my
by the way, I
life.
slept like a log back then. It was like, it was fine,
And now with all the shit,
And
all the
now
sleep
it's just-
purifiers, it's like,
yeah.
you're lucky.
I know. Yeah, I just do want to come back to one thing, which is that you said a fly out situation. I didn't know that had a name, but I'm obsessed with that terminology.
Well, I think I think Drake or somebody called them fly out tings, because in Canada they say ting, and but that's just like slang for, I guess,
A
like
fly out, yeah.
fly out ting, like a fly out situation. Yeah,
I
I did a lot of that. I'm retired from that.
flyouts.
Yeah, I think long distance relationships should be illegal.
So I actually have a note that we can get into it right now because I saw that on your Instagram that you said long distance should be illegal. So let's talk about it right now. Why do you think it should be illegal?
Well, I'm being a little facetious.
Right. No, I got that.
But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like a lot of things like are better when they have like rules and boundaries to them.
Okay.
Like your dog shouldn't have like free reign of the whole house. Otherwise, it's gonna be a problem for him. Not even just a problem for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we need some kind of like discipline and control. And I think that obviously, like this sounds so exhausted, but like the options that we have and the dating apps and blah blah blah. It's like self-inflicting harm because like we can never find anybody. And then just with these like long distance ones, it's even worse because it's like not a real relationship. I don't think it like builds a real relationship. It's one extreme or the other. The person comes to live with you for a couple days. You're spending 24/7 with a stranger for 3 days. Mm-hmm. Then they disappear for a couple weeks. Then they have to come back. Then you're having a relationship with your phone.
Right.
And like, look, if it's the end all be all and the perfect person and you want to set a goal that this is going towards us living together, fine. But I would love to see the studies on how much those things work out.
I know. I feel like I think that they can work. I think if it's like, I think it especially can work if you're together before someone's got to move for a job or whatever, and then
I'm not talking about that. Yeah.
You're talking about starting long
distance because I'm on Raya and it's every girl's in a different fucking
I think
state.
It's really hard. Yeah, I think it's really hard. A girl just called my live show this morning and she was like, "I've been dating this guy 5 months. I'm really obsessed with him. We're great together. I'm moving to Spain for 9 months. Do you think I should dump him or stay with him?" And I said, I mean, do you love him? And she said, yeah, she basically loves him. And I said, then stay with him. Then it will be fine. You have like I think if you have the foundation, long distance isn't as hard. But it can be. And to our point before about getting more set in your ways, it can be difficult to go from being with someone and then going long distance, and then when they come back, you're like, well, I've readjusted my life, and it can be tricky.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Like I said, that seems like if you love the person, at least there's like a foundation of a real relationship, and then if you want to stick it out, and you should, because it's hard to find people.
It's hard to find people.
You think in the moment, you think like, oh, I'll just find somebody else.
Yeah, and you're like, no, that's not true. You can be single sometimes for like years at a time.
You'll weigh out the options. Like you're gonna be single for longer than 9 months, so that 9 months isn't so bad if you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To like stick it out for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think it. I'm talking about more of the starting fresh.
Have you ever done that? Have you started fresh in a long distance? And
that's like they've all kind of been like that.
Yeah.
They could have maybe worked out because I wasn't at a place where my taxi cab light wasn't on.
Right.
So I didn't like want to make that extreme leap of relocating the person because they're coming to me.
For sure.
All right. I live in New York City. I'm not living in Kansas. So I'm not making that extreme decision. And like there were a couple looking back on it that maybe would have been worth doing that for. But still, it would have been an extreme pressure situation to do that.
Right.
And when you live locally to somebody, you don't have to make a major life decision within 1 year of a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
What age did your light go on? And for anyone who doesn't know about the taxi cab theory, it's basically the theory that says men...
Sex in the City.
They even have their light on or their light off. And if their light is off, they're not going to settle down and get married. But if their light is on... they're ready.
Yeah, it's very similar to your box theory.
It is. And people always ask me like, oh, how do these work in tandem? And they actually do work together because a guy can want to date you, but he's not ready to fully settle down and like marry you. Mm-hmm. But you could be in his date box, be dating him, and then all of a sudden one day he wakes up, his light's on, then you guys settle down and get married. But so what age did your light go on?
Literally like this age. 36. Like I'm 36, so maybe like 35.
And you felt it internally.
Oh yeah. Like right before that, it was not like 30 to 35. Like it was not there.
It wasn't
at
all.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was still.
That's probably making a lot of girls' buttholes clench out there hearing that.
Yeah, and it was actually the opposite. I probably would have. You probably hear me on podcasts being like, I don't believe in marriage. Like when I was like
Really?
27.
Of
I
course,
was a
yeah.
fucking idiot. I was
Right, right, right,
27
right,
years
right,
old.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
And then what about 30 to 35? Did you feel like at all pressure, or did you want companionship, or were you enjoying being single?
Well, with me, it's a little different because like I'm in an unusual life circumstance with
Right.
my
Being
show and
famous.
fame.
Yeah.
It comes in like waves and stuff.
Totally.
So there was like the first wave of fame and
Mm-hmm.
experience and stuff, and I definitely rode that wave, and then it kind of just died down, and then I think more looking for like a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then it like ramped up more than ever when I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time I said, oh, okay, like I'm gonna make all the money I can. I'm
Sure.
gonna take advantage of this. Plus I still wanted the fun. I still
Right.
wanted the partying. I
Mm-hmm.
still wanted the random hookups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now like that stuff literally doesn't interest me. Like hookups, and you can't even like if I go to Miami, I'm probably gonna like pass out the first day
Right.
and like not even want to go to a club because of all the stuff that comes with. I mean, there are little still glimpses of fun,
Right.
but like it's not worth the hangover. It's not
Mm-hmm.
worth the, you know, if let's just say you have a crazy party boy after party, you got like a bunch of people breaking shit and
It's a mess.
doing
Yeah.
drugs. It's so messy, you know, like you have to be unconsciously drunk for it, and none of that kind of like, you know, it's so funny because now that I live in the city
Mm-hmm.
in a dope house, like this would have been my dream in my 20s. I would
Because
like,
you would have thrown so many parties and
Yeah.
like had girls over.
nah, now it's just me and my dog
And
all
now
day
you're
long. I'm
chilling
like, I don't
and,
want
like,
fucking anyone here. Like,
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Do you think that there's a way to tell if a guy's light is on or off?
yeah, I mean, I think that he'll literally start talking about
Yeah, I think that's
his
right.
intentionality instantly.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're in the box of the dating box,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably call it like the wifey box or something like that. Like, because now he's like envisioning you as a wife.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, he will not be shy to say it. You have to say it now. Like as men, we have to say it because I was telling you on my pod, like there are a lot of women that just are dating, but they're really not looking for anything serious.
Totally.
I think they are, but
I think it's a defense mechanism a
yeah,
lot of
they
the
have
time.
the defense mechanism up. So I say it right away just to know like if they're going to have that defense mechanism. And if they do, keep it moving.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of women struggle with a guy saying stuff about the future. And I feel this way too, because we're worried about love bombing, you know, and guys have said in the past, like, oh, well, when we do this and that and da da da. And it's like, it can be hard to know when it's genuine or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I definitely, I believe in love bombing. I've been a little bit guilty of myself, but again, when you're like 36 and you've had experience and shit, you start to like,
Yeah.
do things better. Like, you know, I'm like more conscious about the love bombing. I did all that shit in my 20s, but I'm still gonna tell them what I'm looking for. And it's just a pretty fascinating place to be in, you know, because you would think that a guy walking around saying, I'm looking to start a family, be loyal to you, provide for you, and all that stuff would be a shoo-in. But because of today's society, it's like
everything is messed up.
everything's messed up. You know?
I say that all the time.
Don't get me wrong. There are women that like it,
No, of
but like
course.
it's not every one of them. It's not the
No.
ones that I want.
Totally. I really do think we're in the place where the whole equilibrium is off because of where we're at with dating apps, because of where we're at in society. Just like everything is off. And so I tell, you know, my community, like it's truly not you. I think a lot of women especially take it so personally when they're like, I don't get what I'm doing wrong. And it's kind of just the time. Like we're recalibrating to this new society, this new way of life, this new way of dating and partnership, and nobody really knows how the fuck to be anymore.
Yeah.
And it can be really confusing. And like you're saying, you're completely honest, you have clear intentions, you go on these dates and you say, you know, where you're at, and people aren't even, it's still fucked up.
Yeah. They're like, sorry, I can't. I'm healing, you know, or I'm just looking for, you know, I'm going to go live in London next year for 8 months or something. And I'm just like, all right. You know.
Wild. Okay, well, that was the longest soft open we've ever had. Vinny, welcome
That
to
was
my
the
pod.
open?
That was our open. Thank you for
shit.
being here.
I gotta go. No, okay.
Thank you for being on Office Hours, where we talk about everything interesting on the internet this week. What was the best thing you ate this week?
The best thing I ate this week? Oh, I had a fire Wagyu ribeye last night
Yum.
in Tribeca.
Yum. Where in Tribeca? I live in Tribeca.
You know, the place isn't. I'll tell you
Okay.
after. It's
Okay,
not like
okay.
worth shouting out.
Okay, I get that. I get
because they were
that.
out of an appetizer each time I went.
Fine.
And I'm like, do I have to just keep coming back here to
Yeah,
to
I
get
bet
the
I can guess where
appetizers?
it's from. Yeah, yeah, I know. The food in Tribeca, it's good, but there's not a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most annoying part of your week?
The most annoying part
Yeah,
of
what
my
annoys
week,
you the most in your week?
I have to get haircuts a lot.
Okay.
You know, especially with
A lot of guys would kill for that problem.
that is true. That is true.
Count your blessings.
But this is like I have like a fuck boy Staten Island fade.
I
And like
see.
and like if I'm ever doing anything on camera, like my podcast or something, I gotta go get another haircut. And they're expensive
I'm
because
dead.
every barber now
Like, how often are you talking?
well, like if in a week it'll be really grown in, but if I'm not doing anything on
Yeah.
camera, I don't care.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'm doing shit.
Right.
So I have to like keep getting a haircut, and I was like, it's so fucking annoying. Like I pay this guy's like kids college fund.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of college, if you were to wake up one morning to suddenly discover you were a college professor, what course do you think you could confidently teach?
Confidently.
Yeah. And you can maybe make it up if there's no course that you could teach.
Well, I am a really good jump roper.
Okay, there you go.
I picked up
yeah, sports. Yeah.
Jump roping. No, we're gonna get
Oh,
really specific. What's
tell
it
me.
called when there's like a specific major? Like
I don't know, like a hyper specific major.
yeah. We're gonna like really dial it in, not just to PE, you know, but
Jump roping.
in the pandemic, I learned how to jump rope. I
By
have
the
an
way,
Instagram page called @VinnyJumps.
it's very efficient at burning calories.
Very efficient. I partnered with a Cross Rope, this company that makes amazing jump ropes, and they did a licensing deal.
Amazing.
You know, I made like $50 from it, but
Okay, well,
I don't
love
care.
that. Who
It's
cares?
just
That was your
I
pandemic
find-
pickup hobby?
yes.
Okay.
I find if you can look it up, Vinny Jumps. It's you'll see some crazy jump roping, like acrobatic shit that
I
I've
love
done.
that.
You know, and it made me burn a lot of calories. So
Okay, fantastic. Here are some stories from, okay, this is a good one for you. Women are using GPT. Wow, I've been saying chat GBT.
Me too.
Chat GPT to catch men in lies about their height on dating apps. So women are using chat GPT to determine if the men they're talking to on apps are being truthful about the height they've listed on their profiles. So they can basically show a bunch of pictures to this AI platform, and chat GPT can say, you know, I would guess based on these photos they're 6'3" or 6'4".
Are they're like using like the fucking sky and like
AI, yeah.
like the measurements of like
There is one
dimension and
guy.
shit
So
that,
there's
like,
one guy
AI
on
does?
TikTok who literally
I
he'll
know.
be like
He finds where you live, right?
he'll put up that guy's crazy.
Oh yeah. I
That
thought you were
guy's
talking about
crazy.
that.
But okay, so two things. So first of all, there's a guy who, if you show him a picture of any like random road, not like even a street, I'm talking about like a cobbly like
a blade
path,
of grass.
This guy can literally predict where it is in the world. It's the craziest. It actually freaks me out, and it really
sick.
scares me. So he'll be like, it's in like rural Bulgaria, and he's dead right. Like it's
does he
actually
do that?
crazy. He knows about.
No, how do you do it with the fucking plane?
I don't even know
You're
how
in the sky.
that guy's crazy.
He's like, cumulonimbus clouds fly at this time.
No,
in Aspen.
Talk about a hobby. So there's that guy, but then there's also a guy who, based on any photo of a person, can predict their height within like a quarter of an inch.
Interesting.
So this woman, her name is Justine Moore. She did 10 of her friends and family members, and Chat GPT predicted their height, or within 1 inch of their real height. So you can really find out how tall someone is if you really, really want to. I have a couple questions. Number one, have you ever lied about anything on a dating profile?
Mm-mm.
Number two, I just kind of feel like, I know that everybody has their things. We were talking about this yesterday on your pod, where it's like, look, you have your preferences, but I just feel like if you're going through that much effort to figure out if a guy's height, just go on the date. I just kind of think you just gotta go on the date. Like if I get that guys lie about their height, but if that's the case, you go and then he's a liar, and then you don't go on another date with him. I just feel like we need to do more in-person things. We need to talk to AI robots less. I think you should just go on the date.
All right. I don't know if I'm taking another approach here, but I am big on, before I meet up with anybody, I really know what they look like.
Whoa.
First of all,
But I feel like that's because you're famous and people try to catfish you.
Yeah, but are you talking about catfish in terms of a different person,
No,
or
like just they don't look exactly like themselves.
no? I don't know if this would apply to anybody. I think that like the whole 5 picture thing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or like no posts and just like a highlight of you, like a silhouette of you drinking coffee, and then you're like, let's go on a date. Like, fuck that. Okay, then we're gonna FaceTime first. I
Okay.
want to normalize FaceTiming before.
I like that too.
Unless it's like I go right to TikTok. TikTok shows your personality,
Yeah.
and it shows you in video format in a raw setting versus just, you know what I mean? So if you have a guy and you see him or whatever, like definitely like see him in video first. I don't care. Like tell him to send you a fucking video walking down the street. Like this is our time here. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that we should know who the hell we're meeting up with so we're not like wasting each other's time.
Actually really hear what you're saying. In the past I've said I don't think it's good to stalk people that deeply on Instagram because you can get the wrong idea from them. Like I
I'm
don't
just looking at what they look like.
No,
I'm not
okay,
even, I'm
okay,
not-
yeah. I see what you mean. I think like if you have an overactive imagination or you are really like looking for, I think I'm mainly probably speaking to women here, you can get to a point where you're looking at a guy's page and you're like, oh my God, he has a dog. I love dogs. I'm obsessed with him. Oh my God. And you start to like build this image of him and put guys on pedestals before you've
Right.
even met them. So I think like finding out what someone really looks like is different than stalking them deeply and trying to figure out who they are as a person. And I think it really actually speaks to the fact that you are talking about how they look. You're a man, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't try to like predict his personality or who he is. Like, I don't know.
No, I
Different
definitely.
priorities.
Well, I think that I get what you're saying on the personality. I'm good at like catching. I talked to Logan Yuri about this like digital body language thing.
Yeah.
They like they call it that at Hinge, and digital body language is like basically, you know, someone's body language digitally. You know, so how like the vibe you catch in the messages, and I really believe in that. I'm never wrong.
Wait,
like,
that's really interesting. So say more about that. Meaning like the way they speak
yeah,
in on the apps or like when you're having a conversation on text or whatever.
yeah, it's like if they're engaged. I think there was a study that said there's like a 90% higher rate or something like that of this actually turning into a relationship or maybe just a date if the person messages you within 24 hours.
That's really interesting.
You know, it
Yeah.
just shows like some kind of like degree of interest and, you know, like the way someone speaks, the way someone, this is the shit that, you know, especially as society develops, like is going to be the new communicative tools that like kids use and stuff because everyone talks to each other digitally. So it's like you can literally get to know someone through
So true.
the way that they text and the way that they communicate with you. And, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I want to say that, you know, go meet the person, of course, but a lot of times I'm never wrong.
Yeah. No, I think I feel similarly that I can usually tell. And it usually is those little indicators where it's like I'm at the point now where if I don't get a good vibe from someone on text, I'm like, I'm not even going to meet up with you because I have a certain way that I like to text. I'm a very chatty, like back and forth sarcastic person, and if it isn't there right away,
Yeah.
it's never going to work anyway.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people would say, well, that they're just not a texter. That's fine, but then they're not for me.
Yeah.
Because
I don't believe in bad texters either.
Yeah, I don't believe in bad
Long
texters.
distance relationships illegal. Bad texting illegal.
Illegal. No, and I just think, you know, I need a little bit of like Riz in the chat. Otherwise, I'm not, you know, if you're dry, if you're like recently I was on Hinge and a guy said to me, he sent me a rose and I thought he was cute. I matched him and he literally said, "What's up?" ? I hated that. I can't tell you. And that's exactly what you're talking about, a digital body language.
It's a
What's
vibe.
up ? What do you mean, what's up? I'm not like you're not your buddy. We're not at softball practice. You're not like, hey, what's
Yeah.
up? Like, you send me a rose. We're on Hinge.
Yeah.
Ask me a fucking question.
Yeah.
Or say, how's your day? Or just like, hey, how are you? Da da da. Like, have a little
He's probably speed dating.
finesse.
He probably said what's up to like a bunch of people.
That's what I'm saying. He's doing my thing of like Uber for dates on Hinge, which
Yeah.
is fine, but it's just like, it just really turned me off. And I don't know if I'm being intuitive or if I'm in my 30s dating and I'm being too picky.
Yeah. You know what I always
Probably
think
both.
about? Whenever like, and this goes the same with just with life and dating and even without like texting, all those people that like don't seem like they have any riz. I'm gonna sound a little mean here, but sound like maybe are airheads or lack intelligence or whatever it is. It's like there is a message box somewhere that they're killing it with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
No,
I'm like,
100%.
who are they? Like I've had like horror stories of like, if I told you women that I've had like little fly out situations or situationships where I'm like, oh my God, like I felt like I went through war.
Yeah.
And like, meanwhile, then I see her like on a red carpet with a DJ and I'm just like, how is he doing it?
Right. I know.
Did she not do that stuff with him?
I always think about that. No, I always think about
Maybe
that.
their chemistry just aligns and it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lid for every pot. And also, I just think it is about chemistry. I've had situations with guys where I'm just like, God, I think you're so like dry and boring and whatever. And then I see them in 6 months and they're with like a beautiful girl and I see them
photos.
on Instagram and I'm like, what do you guys talk about? Like it was just like the hardest hour of my life to be with you. Like I just don't get
you're like
it.
a competent, like cool, like nice, easygoing person. You're not like the hardest person to please. You know?
It's just like it's so crazy. But I think it's like I think that should encourage us because it's like there is a lid for every pot and there's chemistry for everybody to be had. It's just I am completely flabbergasted sometimes. And honestly, that happens a lot with like even just being in the world of entertainment or influencers or whatever you want to call it. Like you meet some people in person and they're just not the same as they are online. And you're like, whoa, that
happens all the time.
This is crazy. It's just a different dynamic. So yeah, I don't know. I think like
go to their TikTok.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I would literally hate if a guy went to my TikTok. To me, that is.
Oh, I'd go right to your TikTok.
That's like
especially
me
because you're on TikTok.
I know, but that's like my place of work. I was like, I don't do like cute TikToks. I do like I wake up in the morning like I don't care. I always say like I'm ugly on the internet. Like I don't care.
Good. That's
I
what
just
we want to
am
see.
like raw with no makeup and
we
like
want to see who
I've
you
always
really
been
are.
that way. But I kind of feel like it's my place of work. And I always tell guys who I'm dating like not to listen to my podcast because it's like, you know, I talk a little bit about dating and then they start to think, is she talking about me subconsciously or, should I change my behavior because of this and that? And I'm like, this is my place of work. Like if I want you to see a piece of content that I've made or watch something, I'll send it to you specifically. But otherwise, like I don't come to your office and watch you.
See, but we're in this weird position where and that's what I deal with the girls with the 5 pictures too. It's like, they're like, I'm like, you know, I don't say send me a video. I'm just like, I put that on them. I'm like, so I don't know what you look like. And I'll like let them maybe, a lot of them, sometimes they hit me up, they're private. And I'm like, I have no idea what you look like. And they're like, well, you send me a picture too. I'm like, me send you a picture? I'm like, how about you fucking use Google and then look up thousands of pictures and videos and TikToks and watch me age over the year and see if I can read, see if I can speak, see if I can project. I have no idea who you are. You're a fucking bot to me. And you probably deal with that too because, you know, you have like some guy on Hinge or whatever, but he can see you in all forms.
Literally
in
all forms.
You know
like
what I mean?
you can see
No,
me.
we all should be able to see people in all forms before we meet.
It's
I don't know if we agree.
But I don't agree with that.
That's
but
my girlies, okay?
But I feel just exposed sometimes with my dating because I'm like, oh God, you can see absolutely everything.
You know,
but
I had sex on TV for years.
That's probably okay. Oh my gosh, our time is flying. I have so much that I want to talk about. Sexy Red launches new not safe for work lip gloss. These names I can't even say here. They're crazy. She has a lip gloss called Nut, a lip gloss called Pussy Hole Pink. Okay, good for her. I'm happy for her. Caviar top chicken nuggets from the Michelin starred chef Simon Kim will be served at the U.S. Open. Okay, I love that. Are you going to go to the U.S. Open? Do you like tennis?
I not enough to like just be like I have to go to the U.S. Open, but sometimes I do brand deals and I go.
Yeah,
for
and
things.
You go. I love a brand deal.
I love like a good reason to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
I love a brand deal at a sporting event. Okay,
yes.
That's my absolute. That's the pinnacle. Have you been to Cote? He's the owner of Cote Korean Steakhouse. I haven't,
Cote. But it's like a Michelin star.
Oh my God!
Korean. I think it's hard to get a reservation.
Oh my God,
there.
it's so good. The steak is incredible, and they have a lot of sauces. I love sauce, so you guys should go. It's in New York. Okay. So here's something. I wonder if you've seen this. Do you know who Chappell Roan is?
No.
Okay, that's very millennial of you. So Chappell Roan is like the new up and coming.
I've been seeing people's like reaction videos to something.
Yeah,
going
can
on.
we play her TikTok on here? There we go. Let's see what she said.
Questions. Just answer my questions for a second. If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, "Can I get a photo with you?" And she's like, "No, what the fuck?" And then you get mad at this random lady? Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? Would you try to dissect her life and bully her online? This is a lady you don't know. And she doesn't know you at all. Would you assume that she's a good person? Assume she's a bad person? Would you assume everything you read about her online is true? I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second.
So she's a pop star. She's very, very popular. She's had a couple huge shows lately. She draws a massive crowd. She's super like just everyone obsessed with her right now. And then she just came out with these videos, basically having a really bad reaction to what is essentially this huge surge of fame. And people are having, on the whole, I've seen on TikTok, like negative reactions to it because it feels like, obviously, what happens when you're going to become a singer. You hope that this happens. Now, I think I'm so interested to hear your point of view on this as someone who's been on TV and famous for a while. But I do think that, like, it's a more nuanced conversation than what she's making it seem and what other people are making it like online.
I feel like first when I was watching, I was like, wow, she's describing my life, like the person yelling out the car window and whatever. I've dealt with it for a long time, and I'm a little like, first of all, when I'm in the Hamptons, I'm a fucking asshole.
Really?
And I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Because those women in the Hamptons are insufferable and they're rude, and one girl threw something at me.
Well, that's unacceptable.
She threw a dinner roll at me when I walked into the restaurant. Like, it's like Dance Monkey Dance, obviously. And when someone approaches you with like mad disrespect,
yeah,
I don't think that as the celebrity you have to be like, they're all my fans and I get to take a picture with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the context is everything.
For sure.
If there's like a nice, person, it's like, my daughter loves you and stuff like that, I would never in my life say no to that context. But yeah, when somebody approaches me mad disrespectfully, like, I don't care. I just keep it moving. I don't care what anyone says. Because a lot of times we deal with some really wild shit that's like not a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's people that are like, they're, I've had like a TikTok reaction videos like, Vinny's such an asshole, Anyone that knows me knows I'm not like that. I am kind of like an introverted kind of person. So I'm not like outwardly walking through the airport with like a sign, like, my co-star The Situation does, telling everyone to take a picture with him.
Yeah.
But with her specifically, she sounded like mad specific about something that she was going through, and that was like getting to her about a specific person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was just like overall fame.
I think that she just in the past 6 months has blown up so much. And I think that now, because she's like very much a Gen Z pop star, where Gen Z is her core fan base, they are just on a different level when it comes to their stalking and their like internet research. And it's like, I think that I had seen something about how her family was being stalked, and like some people were going to her sister's place of work. And obviously that stuff is like really weird and unacceptable, and we need to call out that behavior. So it's tough, because I feel like she's alienated a lot of her fan base by these videos, but like I completely feel for her. Clearly she's like, as you said, she's like been triggered by an experience. And if your family is being targeted and it's because of you feel mad amounts of pressure to fix that and to tell people to back off. But
nobody wants to hear that though.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, exactly.
I would like, steer against just like making rants about it. This is something that the public doesn't want to hear. If you're on a podcast or something like I'm doing right now,
totally,
I'll talk to you about it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like make a rant about it. But another thing too is like the Insta fame now is crazy, because I kind of went through that too, and it's like a lot of these people, I don't know who she is really, but I always think about that, like a person that just goes viral on TikTok and shit, and now like they don't have the money to have security. Like I don't have the money to have like a security team with me everywhere I go.
Right.
But you get the recognition of somebody that does need security everywhere they go.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm just like, now luckily, like I have some money. I can, hire a car or if I really need it. But yeah, I think about it all the time. It's like those people are just like, they just live in Ohio and they're like
Right.
they're like students. I'm like, how do you go to
Right.
school now?
Right. Like the Hawk Tuah girl is like,
Yes.
she got,
Doesn't she need security now?
Probably go like, especially in some situations, if she's at a party or like a paid appearance, like whatever. I think about her. She went like this overnight, and she's also someone where people, they want the photo, they want her to do it. They're like pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy, and I do think that people feel more and more ownership over celebrities now because of the internet. Like the film between the celebrity and the normal person is so thin now because of social, because celebrities are online saying, oh, here's what I'm eating for breakfast. Oh,
well, they're normal people.
Yeah, well, they're not. Yeah, of course.
Back then they weren't normal people. It was just like Johnny Depp.
Exactly. So now it's like, yeah, I feel for her. I agree with you. Her rant probably wasn't best. I think it would have been honestly more powerful if she'd been like, hey, I need to tell you about this absolutely fucking strange person who came to my sister's place of work. That's weird. And then honestly, the internet would have rallied around her and been like, you're right. That is really weird. Like that. Whoa. But I don't know. I hope it doesn't affect her because she's super talented. So love her so much. Okay. Adam Sandler confirms Travis Kelce cameo in Happy Gilmore 2. Are you an Adam Sandler fan?
Yes.
I met him last night for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I went to his premiere of his new stand-up special on Netflix, and he couldn't have been nicer. So on Tuesday's Tonight Show, Sandler confirmed that production on the comedy sequel will begin in New Jersey in a couple of weeks. We worked hard on the script, man. Sandler said we didn't let anybody down. People have been asking me for a long time, do Happy Gilmore 2? And I was always like, nah, I'll only let you down. Okay, that's amazing.
I'm only really pissed at this. Do you want to finish? Sorry.
No. Tell me why.
I'm only really pissed at this because, like,
you want to be in it.
I could have been probably that cameo that Travis Kelce is making.
You
we have a similar look.
Yeah, you could have.
And it sucks because Adam Sandler is like my fucking idol.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's in New Jersey.
It's like in New Jersey. Yeah,
like,
it should be you.
But it's like
justice for Vinny.
Like Travis doesn't have enough fucking fame and clout going on.
By the way, yeah, he has enough. Okay, don't be greedy. That's always
I do stand-up comedy.
So interesting to me about like people who are at the top of their game. I'm like, you are literally like one of the best football players in the world. You are dating the most famous girl in the world.
So here's a Geico commercial.
Like, but you can have more. Like, save some for the rest of us, Travis Kelce.
It's like, when you get money, that's when people send you free shit.
That was the crazy. People are always like, oh, what's it like being an influencer? What's the biggest difference? It's like I didn't need the free stuff now. I needed the free stuff when I had no money when I was in my 20s, and now I get it for free. It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm still gonna go to my agent and see if I can get in, but they're gonna be like, no, we have Travis Kelce.
I wonder if I could do a cameo too.
Yeah,
I could be a little.
It's right here. We're right here, and all those like fucking remakes. It's just all cameos.
It's all cameos. Which the
other TikTok dude was in Bad Boys.
Who?
That guy that's like the most. I don't know his name. He's like the most popular TikToker in the world. He makes like those like faces. It's just like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he just like literally just walked by Will Smith and Martin Lawrence for 1 second and just made the face and then just kept walking.
It's so crazy how much like traditional media has to bring in new people to, like I saw a Dunkin' commercial. It was all TikTokers. It's like, and you need that for the recognition. But I again would like to tell Hollywood, please, you can make new ideas too. I love remakes, but also we can have new ideas too.
How crazy is this? TikTokers surpassed reality stars.
In terms of what? Money they make or how many
just
there
like
are?
The legitimacy of like a career and how much money they make.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like reality stars don't get the shit that TikTokers get.
And that's sad because I grew up on reality TV, but I do think that we have kind of almost like we need to go back to a time where reality TV wasn't so overproduced. And I think now I think there's still a place for reality TV. I just think that reality TV hasn't adapted in the TikTok era because it's like, okay, if I see my favorite TikToker and she vlogs every single day, you have to give me a special reason to watch her on reality TV that I'm going to get something that I'm not going to get on the vlog.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't think they figured it out yet, but I think that they need to, because I mean, I love reality TV.
Yeah, I guess just because like the reality TV just puts you in this one little box making a show, and I don't know, the TikTok is really just you with your own point of view talking and stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with YouTube. Like when someone has like a million subscribers on YouTube, that's fucking fame to me.
That's so
that's
insane.
like universal fame. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I may have more followers than, you know, a comic like Mark Norman. And, you know, like you go to his Instagram page, a couple 100,000, whatever. I might have like 10 million social media followers, but he has 1 million on YouTube.
Which is...
And that means that he's selling out arenas. That means that he's, you know, I don't, in a weird way, like A-list. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think of all the followers, like a follower is not a follower is not a follower.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think YouTube is the most valuable follower.
Literally. And the hardest to get.
And the hardest to get. And then I think Instagram. And then I
Okay.
think TikTok.
Okay. TikTok is up there.
I think it's easier to get followers on people don't
Yeah.
care on TikTok. I think there's some crazy stat, and this was back in the day. This was a couple years ago. It was like over 1 million people, over like 10 million people have 1 million followers on TikTok or something crazy like that. Like it's to me it feels inflated sometimes.
I guess because I was just early with the Instagram game.
Yeah,
I was on it
yeah.
like since almost the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, so let's watch this TikTok. This is from Jake Maddock, a relationship coach. Can you guys pull this up? I want to hear Vinny's take.
Time cutoff, 3 months. How do I know if he's going slow or if he doesn't want a relationship? How slow are we talking? If you guys aren't in a full-on, proper, amazing 10 out of 10 exclusive official relationship by 12 weeks, 3 months, it's over. That's your time. That's your time cutoff. 3 months, 12 weeks. If it's not super official, amazing, yelling it from the rooftops, how much he's in love with you, it's done.
Do you agree?
I 100% agree. I think that, you know, the dating phase should not last longer than, I would say even a month sometimes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Like within a month, I cut off my situationships if I don't feel like it's
Right.
going to turn into anything.
Right.
It also depends though. Like I'm describing more of a long distance one. So we get
Yeah.
a lot in
when you're
in
together.
the month. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It might drag out a little bit more over time, like 2 months or something like that. But yeah, you should know. It just depends if that's what you're actually looking for. The taxi cab light is on, then you should know within like a couple months if this is going to be someone you want to call your significant other.
Yeah. And what do you think about someone saying like they're not ready to be in a relationship? Because that's a question we get in a lot. Like, oh, everything's going great, but they're like, no, I'm not ready to be like official yet.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to you before and on my
Yeah.
pod about I go on a lot of dates. They all say that
But for
they're
a guy
not
to
looking
say
for a relationship. Same thing. I mean, if a guy is saying it, then a lot of people are just
don't wait it out.
No, don't wait it out.
Yeah.
Don't wait. A lot of people are just, kind of playing games out here. And I have a joke like that where I say, it's like when I call an Uber and then the Uber comes and I'm just like, hey, I'm not looking for a ride home.
That's funny.
I just want to drive around and
Yeah.
have some fun. Let's just, we could maybe go get a little smoothie or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, don't wait it out. It's some fuckboy shit, but girls do it too.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Okay, let's pull up this one. Next one.
If you start going out with someone new, don't f***ing ask how many people they slept with. You don't want to know the answer. Don't ask about what they used to do with their ex sexually. You don't want to know the answer. Don't ask anything about the past, which is going to make you feel less attracted to your partner. You want to know about the present. You want to know about the future. You don't want to know about the past. Stop asking about it. Stop talking about it. Don't tell people your past. Keep it to yourself. It's private. Nobody wants to know. It's not going to make people like you more. It's going to make people like you less. So shut the f*** up. You're creating retroactive jealousy by oversharing. Oversharing is when you say stuff about your past, which lowers your partner's attraction for you.
Yeah, I agree.
First of all, it's hard to I want to like this guy, but I can't. It's hard to take people really seriously with an Australian accent. Shane Gillis has a hilarious joke. He's like, it's a little dark, but he's like, even on 9/11, there was an Australian guy that was like, oh fuck. We can cut that out. But no, well, it's part of his special on
It's
Netflix.
his special. It's you telling the joke.
But no,
Sorry to
the
my
guy-
Australian fans out there.
I don't. You guys have the worst accents ever. Anyway, crikey. Okay, so yeah, straight up asking about sexual history is crazy. Like about partners and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess I do think that someone's past kind of defines a little bit of who they are. And I'm not saying they haven't changed or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's good to know where someone comes from, what kind of life they lived. I was talking to you on mine, like about, I feel like we both bring a resume to the table and stuff like that. So sex can get tricky though. You know, there's a lot of like jealousy and stuff, but even me, you know, I'm very honest. That's like this part of my life of intentionality too. It's like, I tell them like what my red flags are. And
Wow.
one of mine is, you know, I've had a weird, relationship with like sex and intimacy and stuff because of my show and accessibility and just being like a rock star for that many years. And, you know, it's like, I'm very self-aware of it and I know the better route to go and I'm a disciplined person, but it's something someone should know.
Yeah.
Instead of me just being like, oh, I'm perfect.
Right. No, I think that's really self-aware and really important. Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. I made a TikTok not too long ago saying, stop asking body count. I hate that phrase. I think it's so immature. I think it's a really misogynistic question. I think there's no point. That being said, I think it's important, as you said, to know where someone's been and kind of emotionally and what their relationship is to sex. Like, I think that's what you're really trying to ask is like,
Right.
what is like saying, oh, what's your body count is a very poor way of saying, what is your relationship to sex? How much do you
Right.
like it? What do you like? What do you not like? What feels good to you? What makes you feel comfortable? And that's really a hard conversation for a lot of adults to have, sadly.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know. I agree somewhat with him, but I think when you're actually getting serious with someone, talking about sex and the importance of it is actually kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, and I like whenever I talk about things, like even if they're hard subjects and stuff that I might, you know, not mesh with somebody on, like there's a way of doing it in a respectful way where it's just like you're kind of talking and then it's just like, all right, well, you know, if we don't work out, this is fine. You know, I feel like 99.9% of the time it doesn't work out.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
we're just getting that out of the way, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Okay, I got a lot of advice requests, so you can help me answer a few. So Lily, 29, three-way meetup. So my boyfriend and I recently had our first three-way. I got to say it was fantastic. We laid out some light ground rules before and he followed them to a T. In fact, he made me feel so comfortable that I gave him the go-ahead to have sex with her. I sincerely have nothing bad to report about it except that I can't stop future tripping about the problems me and my boyfriend could have. Is this a slippery slope? Is he going to think this is a go-ahead to hook up without me? How do I take this experience for something fun I just enjoyed with my partner without spiraling out of control about what it could be?
I lost the last part. I know she had it. It seemed like it was a
She
successful
had it. It was
thing.
great. Yeah. And then she's worried. Like her boyfriend made her feel super comfortable during it, but now she's worried. Is this a slippery slope? Is he going to cheat now? You know, this, that, and the third.
Okay.
No, go.
I was gonna say everybody's different. There are some guys I think that completely know how to handle that. Like, I don't want to, like, you know, open kind of thing with, you know, threesomes and stuff. There are probably a lot of guys that don't know how to handle that.
That's facts.
That it is a slippery slope with. So I would just say, you know, kind of like know your man. If he's really just indicating that he totally just is fine with it. I've been in that situation too where it was completely fine, where like, you know, like it just, me and my girlfriend at the time just did it like it was like going on a fucking ride at
Fun thing.
Six
Yeah.
Flags. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think you're just spiraling because it's like it went well. Like Vinny said, you know your boyfriend, and it sounds like you do. And I think the fact that he made you feel so comfortable and that he followed all the ground rules
Right.
and that like that's a great indicator that he understands that. To me, any sort of three-way, opening up the relationship, any sort of like extracurricular activities they work best with really defined ground rules and really open communication, which it sounds like you have. So if you feel like you need to reiterate them again to confirm everything, just go for it. But I think it sounds just fine.
I also think like with me, like all that stuff, I want it always initiated by the girlfriend.
Yeah. I think that's so important, by the way. I really think the girlfriend should always, like, I think if the guy, I know this is the double standard, but I can't explain it. Like, if the girl is like, hey, I think we should have a threesome, I think it's fine. If the guy is like constantly asking for threesome, that's not
a guy never wants to even, it feels creepy to be the guy that's like trying to get your girl to have sex with other girls, you know what I mean? But when a girl does it, it's fun, it's cool, you know.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Katrina, she's 24. I've been dating this guy for 4 months. I was getting hookup box vibes, so I shifted my mindset that this would be a cute little summer fling. He came over Friday to get takeout, watch a movie, and hook up. We had originally planned to hang out the next day, Saturday, so when he was leaving in the morning, I asked if he still wanted to hang out that night. He said he'd text me after he got home from the fishing trip he was going on that day. Spoiler, he didn't text me. I texted that night saying, I guess we're not hanging out tonight. He never replied to that, so on Monday, I texted him, good talk. Should I text this guy again? Oh my God, no. He doesn't deserve another second of my time or to know that it bothered me, but I also want to stand up for myself. What would you do? I would literally block him and never text him again. Like, what are you going to do? You texted him 3 times with no response. It's brutal, but I seriously, I'm not underestimating how brutal you feel right now, but you have to just have some self-respect and block him. You have to.
Especially if it's like a hookup situation.
Yeah.
There have been times where it was more than that, and then the person does something, kind of does you dirty.
Yeah.
And I do get a little petty, and I have to get this last little paragraph in.
Totally. Yeah. But this
and
is
you know, I'm glad they read it. But I've told you yesterday also, you know, roast people in my Instagram comments, so I'm a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, hookup situation, just fucking keep it moving, and then, you know, the guy will he will start texting you again.
Of course he's going to start texting you again, but don't text him back and block. That's why you should block him. So it's like I feel like blocking someone is as good as sending the last paragraph, because it's like you're doing the final move and he won't be able to reach you then. And that's the most powerful thing. And block him from your Finsta too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Vinny, I've enjoyed talking to you so much. Thank you for coming on.
So much in common.
So much in common. I know everyone's really going to enjoy this conversation. Where can people find you? Where can people see your comedy?
So you could just follow me at Vinny Guadagnino on Instagram. That's like the thing I use the most, but I also have TikTok and everything else. I have a new podcast. It's called Something Went Wrong with Vinny. Subscribe to that on YouTube. And just checking on my Instagram for like my upcoming comedy dates. I'm kind of just like doing it the right way. I just like do it every night in basements without announcing it.
So great.
But then once in a while, I'm starting to like open it up to the public just to kind of learn and get the vibe of that. And that's what I usually invite people to. So those are every month in New York City and the tri-state area. The next one is in Connecticut, Stamford, September 4th. And then there's going to be other ones in the tri-state area too. So
amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye.